Every day, the Fat Controller came to the station to catch his train, and he always said hello to Thomas. There were lots of trucks in the yard. Different ones came in every day, and Thomas had to push and pull them into the proper places. He worked hard. He knew that now that he wasn't so clever as he thought. Besides, the Fat Controller had told him he mustn't touch the ones all the way to the right. They were called the breakdown trains. His driver said, when there's an accident, the workmen get into the coaches, and the engine takes them quickly to help hurt people to clear men the line. The cranes are for lifting heavy things like engines of coaches and freight cars. One day, Thomas was in the yard when he heard an engine whistling. Help! Help! The engine came rushing through much too fast. The engine, a new one called James, was frightened. His brake locks were on fire. They're pushing me! They're pushing me! On! Help! Help! Cried James, and poor James disappeared. I like to teach those freight cars a lesson, said Thomas. Presently a bell rang in the signal box, and a workman came out running. James is off the line! The breakdown train! Quickly! Thomas worked his hardest. Hurry, hurry, hurry! He puffed, and this time he wasn't trying to pretend like Gordon. He really meant it. Bother those trucks and their tricks. I sure hope poor James isn't hurt. They found James in the trucks behind at a bend in the line. The brake van and the last few trucks were on the rails, but the front ones were piled in a heap. James was in a field with a cow looking at him, and his driver and fireman were filling him all over to see if he was hurt. Never mind, James, they said. It wasn't your fault. It was those wooden brakes they gave you. We always said they were no good. Thomas pushed the breakdown train alongside. Then he pulled the unhurt cars out of the way. Oh! They groaned. Serves you right, puffed Thomas crossly. When the men put other trucks on the line, he puffed them away too. They left the broken trucks in the middle line. Then with 2 cranes, they helped put James back on the rails. This'll teach you a lesson, said Thomas. Yes, it will, cried the trucks. They put James back on the rails. James tried to move, but he couldn't. So Thomas helped him back to the shed. The Fat Controller was waiting anxiously for them. Well, Thomas, he said kindly, I've heard all about it, and I am very pleased with you. James, you shall have a proper brakes and a new coat of paint. And you, Thomas, shall have a branch line all to yourself. Oh, sir, cried Thomas happily. Now Thomas is as happy as can be. He has a branch line all to himself, puffs proudly backwards and forwards with his coaches all day. He's never lonely because there's always engines along at the junction. Edward and Henry stop often and tell him the news. Gordon is always in a hurry and doesn't stop. But he never forgets to say poop poop to little Thomas, and Thomas always whistles peep peep in return.